Okay.
Sorry, I didn't, I think I was muted or something. Couldn't hear if something was spoken earlier.
Uh, no, it's okay. Viraji was having a little confusion question about the
Oh,
Krambat Paryay, which is not part of our syllabus yet.
okay.
So, but it's okay. I might still let him ask. It's not a big deal, but Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam. जय जिनेन्द्र सभी को। सो हम
जय
आज
जिनेंद्र।
दिनेश बुरड़ जी का गंधर मूल्यांकन कर लेंगे और उसके बाद हम रिवीजन क्वेश्चंस ले सकते हैं और आप लोगों के सेमेस्टर के एक्सपीरियंसेस के बारे में बात करेंगे। तो
Sure.
let's go. Dinesh ji, you tell your topic, book, and which chapter, and
Sure. My Gandhar summary is on Vitrag Vigyan 3, Chapter 4, which is Agrahit or Grahit Mithyatva.
okay.
Uh, I'll start with introducing Pandit Daulat Ramji. Pandit Daulat Ramji was a 19th century poet and a Jain scholar. His poems are immersed in the essence of spirituality. वो अध्यात्म के रस वाले कवि थे. He was born in Sansi village in near Aligarh in a Palewal family, and he was a very self-enlightened person. He lived a very simple life as a cloth merchant, and he stayed away from self-applause. He did not like too much praise or whatever. He mastered in Sanskrit. He mastered in Prakrit. Um, at the mere age of 36, in 1834, he finished composing the Chardhala, which literally means six shields offering spiritual protection. Chardala is a very widely respected devotional scripture in which Daulat Ramji has attempted to fill in the ocean of Jain wisdom and concepts of soul, karma, and liberation into a picture. Basically, जो गागर में सागर भरने का काम है, वो उन्होंने उसमें किया है. And it's a story of soul wandering in the cycle of worldly existence. What is sorrow? The reasons of it, the solutions. And I, I chose this topic because I thought it would be small, but when I started looking into it, it is huge. But I don't mind. I will just quickly walk through the Chardhala and the understanding of Chardhala. Um,
Oh,
so
oh,
basically, in
they
the
went and
Chardhala,
read Chaitala or what?
no, I did not read Shadala, but I tried to understand it. Like, I wanted to understand the big picture of it, like what exactly is it
Okay,
to understand Mithyatva, because I couldn't
okay,
understand Mithyatva on its own. So, basically, it's six sections, and the six sections are composed of, each section is composed of around 15 to 17 verses. So, 93 verses in the six sections. Within which, the first is the state of soul, exploring the soul's journey through heaven, hell, flora, fauna, Dev, Manushya, Tiryaj, Narki kind of thing. The second section is on wrong beliefs, knowledge, and conduct, which identifies the three root causes of suffering and karmic bondages, which is Mithya Gyan, Mithya Darshan, Mithya Charitra. The third is the right belief, which is on Sat Tattva, Chedravya. And Pandit Dalaj Ramji explains what is right for the soul and the process in which uh, you enlighten souls, like you enlighten the soul having the right faith and the right knowledge and right conduct. The next is always obviously fourth section talks about the right knowledge and conduct for grahast, and he explains through bara bhavana in the next one. And then the sixth one is on the right conduct for munijis, basically right conduct for the munijis. Uh, I mean, if a living being desires inner peace, then they must give up negligence, that is pramad, and understand their obligation, that is kartavya, by involving themselves in the activities towards liberation. That's the essence of this Chirdala, out of which this Grahit Agrahit Mithyatva is part of the second dhala, and that I wanted to understand. Uh, I couldn't really understand. I read it for a day and two and couldn't understand it. And then one day I was going with my wife and I'm listening to this song. Normally we'll put some songs in in the car. And everybody must have heard this song by Kishore Kumar, फूलों के रंग से दिल की कलम से तुझको लिखी रोज पाकी, that song. कैसे बताऊं किस किस तरह से पलकों मुझे तू सताती, in which further it goes, तेरे ही सपने लेकर के सोया तेरी ही रातों में जागा, तेरे ख्यालों में उलझा रहा यूं जैसे कि माला में धागा, बादल बिजली चंदन पानी जैसा अपना प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई कई बार. And when I heard that, and I had read this thing before, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Like when Kishore Kumar is saying this, what is he trying to say, right? Like, and it just struck me like in this song, he's like, I think somewhere the love is clouded with attachment, and there's this years of yearning for rebirth. It reflects that there's this he's accepted the cycle of birth and death and rebirth
Yes.
again in that. And then I say, well, in this Dala it says, ऐसे मिथ्या दृग ज्ञान चरणवर्ष भरत भ्रमत भरत दुख जन्म मरण.
Mhm.
So this is where he's Pandit Dolaram ji is trying to explain. ये जीव मिथ्या दर्शन, मिथ्या ज्ञान और मिथ्या चारित्र के वश होकर इस प्रकार से घूमता हुआ जन्म मरण के दुख उठा रहा है.
Mhm.
It kind of started to make sense then. So anyway, Mithyatva. Coming
Because
back to
if you remember,
Mithyatva,
you said the word dhaga, right? In that whatever line of the
was
song it was. That was the
जैसे
song
कि
line.
माला में धागा, yeah.
Mala mein dhaga. In our
Yeah.
scripture, this mala mein dhaga comes a lot. Okay.
Oh, is
Do
it?
you know what that means? Oh, yes. Mala mein dhaga is
Okay.
a very common example the scriptures give. That is to show the continuity of the soul,
Oh,
right? So the pearls are the paryay. समझो फर्स्ट पर्ल मनुष्य पर्याय, नेक्स्ट पर्ल हिरण की पर्याय, थर्ड पर्ल देवता, फोर्थ पर्ल नारकी. Your paryay will keep changing, but the soul, the dravya, is continuous in all of those paryayas.
yes.
So that is what that song is saying.
Okay.
I'm going to be
Okay.
continuously with you, whatever the case may be.
Thank, thank you for that. No, I didn't know about the Mala Kathaga. So that's good. That's good. Coming back to Mithyatva, sorry, Mithyatva is wrong belief or delusion. It's a state of misunderstanding about the nature of self, reality, and the path to liberation. Uh, Mm, And then I try to understand the reason of sorrow because that's one big one in which, connected to Mithyatva. I think there are sections given for this reasons of sorrow, which has basically inherited wrong faith, wrong belief. And the Mithyatva is divided into two parts, which is Agrahit Mithyatva and Grahit Mithyatva. So agrahit mithyatva, the way I understand it, like you said, the soul is common through these birth and death cycles. And when the soul is going through these birth and death cycles, it is carrying something with it. And that is agrahit mithyatva, what it carries with it. And grahit mithyatva is what we learn in this lifetime. Like whatever we do in this lifetime, that is grahit mithyatva. That's the way I understand it. So basically, to consider the body and soul as one is a Grahit Mithyatva, but to follow Kudev, Kuguru, Kushastra is Grahit Mithyatva. And then within Mithyatva, it's Mithya Darshan, Mithya Gyan, and Mithya Charitriya are three things. And then all both of these, like Mithya Darshan has Agrait and Grahit, and then Mithya Gyan has Agrait Grahit, and Mithya Charitra has Agrait and Grahit Mithyatva in it. Uh, I then I kept on thinking, examples of this Mithya Darshan and then Mithya Gyan and Mithya Charitra. Uh, some of the things which came to mind, and I wanted to reflect upon myself, one of them was, ignoring the soul in pursuit of wealth. We are in our daily life, we are just after, making more money, making more this, making more that, and how true it is, I don't know. So, I reflected upon myself on one of the projects where we had this contractor come to me. He knew about construction and he thought he could do anything to go through the permit that he was trying to seek. Basically, simple project, a restaurant, one restaurant big enough, divided into two was his project. And the city said, no, 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 you need an architect to do this project, right? So then all of a sudden he came he had engineers involved in it, and he came finding for architect through a reference. And he says, well, this is what the city wants. The city wants architect to get this done for these two projects. And I said, well, I reviewed it and I said, you know what, you really don't need architect for two projects. You need architect for one, I understand, but you don't need for two projects. And I guided him through that. And when I did that, he he really liked my honesty about it, and he said, "Thank you." This People these days don't say that, I don't want to charge you unnecessarily by taking both the projects on. That's what I had told him. Like, I don't want your money unnecessarily. If you don't have to spend it, don't spend it, right? Uh, Not that I did a good thing, but in the process, I think it did relate to this thing wherein, maybe the attention was not towards seeking wealth or more money. The attention was towards really guiding the person in the right path for my client as such. And I think, maybe I did not collect Mithya Darshan dosh through guiding him correctly. Uh, Another example of Mithya Darshan would be, following a ritual without understanding, or, blindly believing in superstitions would be Mithya Darshan, uh, Mithya Darshan. Mithya Gyan would be uh, the one which I just said, like considering the body and the soul as one could be Mithya Gyan. And then Mithya Charitra is, in Charitra, I don't know if this relevant would be if this example would be relevant, because we had this in one of our rental properties, we had this infestation of mice, and we got the exterminators to do it. We approved it, and I'm thinking, well, all the those will come to me because we got the exterminators to do it. Uh, but the more I think about it, well, did I give the my tenants the right knowledge to do things which will not increase the infestation, things like that, right? So I don't know if Mithya Charitra would be related. Uh, did I gain the path of Mithya Charitra through that? I don't know. Uh, or a person goes to temple but spends the rest of the day indulging in anger, pride, and greed is another example of Mithya Charitra that I thought. Uh, And then somewhere I read the differences between Grahit and Grahit Mithyatva. What is the differences, right? And I wanted to then, I've made an effort. I'll just read through them, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, in Agrahit Mithyatva is eternally carried with the soul without being learnt or taught. Anadi se chala aa raha hai. Whereas in Grahit Mitatva, when five sensed being with wisdom and mind, Saini Panchandriya, learn new things in this life, that is Grahit Mitatva. The second difference is Agrahit Mithyatva is found in all the four gatis, that is Dev, Manushya, Tiryan, Shnarki, whereas Grihit Mithyatva starts unknowingly in Manushya Gati, and the impressions of it are carried in the Tiryan Chanda Devgati. The third one I found was our soul can never be happy unless it has destroyed agrahit mithyatva. Uh, Whereas grahit mithyatva can be destroyed, but until the agrahit mithyatva is destroyed, this soul will still remain in the state of sorrow.
Yes.
Uh, Fourth one was agrahit mithyatva stays with the soul alone if we get rid of grahit mithyatva. Grahit mithyatva can never be alone because it also roots in agrahit mithyatva in it. Yeah, those are the the differences I found. And then again, I wanted to think about my song. So I said, well, I need to think this correctly. So then, I've written this, I'm going to read it out. That Kishore knew that the cloud, so with the Badal,
Uh-huh.
Bijli, Chandan, Pani, the cloud, like love, has transient emotions and it's not the soul's true nature. Bijli, which is lightning, like love, is intense and driven by passion.
Mhm.
Chandan, sandalwood like love, is calm but still creates attachment. Water like love, though nourishing, requires purification. And the cycle of birth and rebirth is a result of mithyatva and is not the soul's spiritual destination. That's what I thought. Awakened soul should choose to transform attachment into awareness and use the love. The love is like Samyaktva teaches us to feel it without clinging and to care without binding. Uh, that's the path of love, and that's how we could look at love through submission. That's all. That's all I
Very
wrote
good. Good
about.
job. I'm glad you kind of thought of it. Now nobody can say that, okay, watching movies is bad when you're doing swagshat. You can always analyze this song. And if you watch, you can put it in the right perspective, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
no, good job. Okay,
Oh, thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you.
So now your three questions. Do you think you're dukhi?
Absolutely. Sorrow is something that it's not, I will not say I'm dukhi, but I
Mhm.
don't know how to experience happiness. That's what I will say.
Okay. Good. So why? I mean, and now like in the true sense, right? एक तो हम सुन सुन के सोचते हैं कि हाँ बोलते हैं कि सोल को नहीं जानोगे तब तक दुखी होगे, but in your feeling, your experience.
I'll tell you something after I read all this,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm trying to understand or make sense of it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing that came to my mind is, when we internalize this understanding or this knowledge, it starts
Mm-hmm.
helping in our day to day as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like sorrowness and happiness is one part of it, because, like for example, this morning I was going to a site, I got delayed. I'm trying to rush. And in that moment, I'm trying to also think about what I had read here earlier. And the only thing I did was I put the chair around and I say, I want to listen to this, right? Listen to
Mm-hmm.
it. And, internally I started calming down and I just slowed down and I took my time to reach my destination. Otherwise, normally I will just rush, rush, rush without thinking, So, I mean,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know if I answered the question, but
No,
uh,
that's correct. That's correct. To basically see, हम किताबों में तो पढ़ेंगे कि जीव दुखी है, अनादि से दुखी है, all those things. But before you understand the substances, you think, यार ये बोल तो रहे हैं, I don't think I'm really dukhi, like things most of the times go my way and I'm fine. Why do they want me to think I'm very dukhi, right? Versus now, you can put it into perspective that
yeah,
yes, I have happy moments, but am I really happy internally all the time? No. If no, then why? And what makes me feel that even the little bit of true happiness, that even if something I can relate to, right? And you
right,
said it right, like, that peace, that non-dependence on reaching on time to be able to be peaceful, right? You could kind of ignore that, उसको kind of subside कर दिया for a moment कि मैं time से पहुंचूंगा कि नहीं. Just be peaceful, whatever Whatever happens is going to happen no matter what. Whether
Yeah.
that answer to your question, Viraj, no matter what, whatever is going to happen, right? Whether you're up and down or you're calm, that's decided really whether you're going to make it on time or not. So why bother being up and down, right? So that's okay. Now, um, let's see. Okay, you kind of understood the agreed kind of very well, but let's say a baby is born, right? And what's the first sign of, because abhi to usko grahit to pata nahi hai, he's just barely born and can't understand or anything. So what is the agrahit mithyatva he has?
Well, the baby cries. How does it know how to cry?
Yeah, and just analyze it a little bit. Why does he cry?
I don't know. Maybe it's hungry. Then if it's fed, then how does it know how to?
It's yeah, it could be confused, it could be hungry, it could be diaper dirty, whatever, right? Now, what does all that say? He thinks this body is mine. Because he has the association with the body, he's hungry, he thinks he's dukhi, he cries. He's dirty, he thinks he's dukhi, he cries. So that is the root cause, the association with the body. The moment
Yeah.
he's born, nobody taught him. Abhi माँ बाप ने उसको नहीं सिखाया. Yet he
Yeah.
has that already with birth. Okay. So, okay. This is a question in the book itself. क्या राधा क्या रागादि के पोषक शास्त्रों का पढ़ना मात्र गृहीत मिथ्या ज्ञान है? So kind of what you did. रागादि का song था वो. It was a romantic
Oh,
song.
okay. Okay.
So,
Ragati ka poshak. And what is the, sorry, what is the question?
yes. क्या रागादि के पोषक शास्त्रों, अब शास्त्रों को रिप्लेस करके आप ये कर लो, गाना
Mm-hmm.
का पढ़ना मात्र ग्रहित मिथ्या ज्ञान है.
मात्र ग्रहित नहीं हो सकता. I think,
Only, that's what a matra means,
yeah,
only, yes.
yeah, it could be a mix of grahit and agrahit both. Uh,
It depends on how you take it, actually.
yeah, yeah,
Right? अगर आप जो किशोर कुमार ने गाया उसकी अपेक्षा से अगर आप करते, तो then yes, it is grahit mithyatva. He's
right.
longing to take another birth, to be again with this person, lover, whatever the case may be, right? Whereas you could take the same song and understand the tattva with it.
Yeah,
So how you use it is what decides whether it is mithya gyan or not. Okay.
yeah, for sure.
So, okay. फिर एक और, संयमी की लोग पूजा करते हैं, राइट? अभी साधु वगैरह, राइट? तो पूजा मतलब यू प्रेज देम. तो तो संयम लेना चाहिए कि नहीं?
संयमी मतलब साधु. सॉरी.
हाँ, साधु, व्रत संयम पालने वाले सब.
संयम लेना चाहिए. संयम करना चाहिए.
क्यों?
Well, it will reduce the amount of grahit mithyatva. No?
आओ, मैं समझो 28 कर ली मैंने, 9 उपवास कर लिए. हाउ विल इट
Uh-huh.
रिड्यूस मिथ्यात्व?
Mm, because no, I yeah, I'll need some more understanding, I guess. I need a
Okay.
better
So
understanding of
पहली
this.
बात तो true संयम only happens after samyak darshan. So
Oh, okay.
first you have to have the association with the soul. right? Otherwise, you can do a thai, no, fast, whatever you can. But नंबर वन, उसने पूछा संयमी की लोक में पूजा होती है। अगर आप अपनी प्रशंसा कराने के लोभ से कर रहे हो, विच इज द केस इन लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स, दैट इज डेफिनेटली, वो तो मिथ्यात्व है ही है, ग्रहित। दूसरा, संयम तो है कि रागादि भाव ही नहीं उठने चाहिए। तो अगर सम्यक दर्शन के बाद भाव आया है कि मैं दीक्षा ले लूं, नाउ आई वांट टू बी विथ माय सोल एंड फॉर दैट आई नीड टू लीव द वर्ल्डली लाइफ, yes, fine. If that is not the case, then it doesn't serve the purpose. So you have to know which perspective it is correct and which perspective it is not.
Got it. Thank you.
So that's the way it is. So it's not always right to do. Okay, right should be with the correct power. Why you want to
Okay.
say? You know, majority of the people, अरे हमारे तो क्या बोलते हैं, चेन सेंटर में कितने मास खामन, अभी न्यूयॉर्क न्यू जर्सी चले जाओ, टेंस ऑफ मास खामन, सो मेनी 28, सो मेनी दिस। तो दूसरों को भी भावो, चलो मैं भी कर लेता हूँ, एंड कर भी लेते हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं कर सकते, बट दे डोंट गेन मच बेनिफिट आउट ऑफ इट।
Mhm.
सो समथिंग टू थिंक अबाउट, एंड नॉट दैट you shouldn't do, you should, that's fine, संयम करना even as a practice is good, but with the right understanding in mind.
Yeah, got it.
Okay? And knowing that in my circumstance, when I do sanyam, it is not the same as samyak drishti ka sanyam. It's only a practice. And still, it reduces kashaya. It has its own benefits. So, yeah. Okay, good job.
Okay.
Good. You got
Thank
all
you.
that extra week to listen to the song and, analyze
Thank
this.
you. Thank you, everybody, for that. Honestly, I just prepared in the last week, after last week, actually. Oh, one. I had one question. There was one difference which I mean, I understood from reading it, but I don't understand the depth of it. One of things was agrahit mithyatva can be understood or described by Dravyanuyog and Karnanuyog, whereas Grihit Mityate can be understood or described by Charnanuyog and Prathmanuyog. How do I understand this? Like,
Okay, so I think we did a chapter on Charanu Yoga, right? One of the books had that chapter,
right.
right? So, tell me, what is Karnanu Yoga? What does that teach?
I didn't look through that, but it would be Karne se.
Can anybody else answer? Bahubali ji, you have the
Yeah.
answer?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is Karuna Yoga is about the things as they are, like the world,
Mhm.
like all the gatis, and it's a anantagamya, like
Karnanu Yoga has all the details of karmas, Jain geography, all those that you cannot change, you can only understand, or you can only just know. There's no rhyme or reason for it. Why in Pancham Gati we can only be up to 7 foot or whatever height, and पहले काल में 500 धनुष की height हो जाती थी. Who decides? Why? What? There's no why, what about it. That's the way it is. So you just,
Okay.
those are facts and you accept them. That's Karnanu Yoga, okay? But that's very detail oriented, right? Karmo ka all the details, Jain geography, which kshetra, what, how many suns, how many moons, how many, all those things, and the distances, all the details, right? Now, Dravyanu Yoga, we know it's about the soul.
Yeah.
So when they say ki agrahit is Dravyanu Yoga, because Dravyanu Yoga is talking about who we are, right? So if you have the wrong association with the body, then you're not following Dravyanu Yoga, right? Same thing with Karnanu Yoga, right? Now, Grahit means something you acquired new. तो वो चरणानु योग से कैसे आएगा? आपने अपने मंदिर में सुना, ओ 28 करने से तो इतने सारे पाप झड़ जाते हैं, उससे अच्छा जन्म मिल जाता है, स्वर्ग की प्राप्ति हो जाती है, और आपने बिलीव कर लिया, चल भाई मैं तो कल 28, मुझे जाना है स्वर्ग. तो यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ दैट कैन हैपन. Then what was the other one? कथानुयोग, प्रथमानुयोग, राइट.
प्रथमान
किसी
योग,
की
yeah.
स्टोरी बताई, वो हमारे यहाँ पर एक वो क्या सिद्ध चक्रण पूजन हुआ, राइट. So one of the ladies gets up and says कि मैंने ये सिद्ध चक्र पूजन किया, my husband was waiting for a kidney for so many years and he got it. Boom. सबको पटापट ग्रहित मिथ्यात्व लग गया. She made everybody believe that if you do सिद्ध चक्र पूजन, oh it will, आपको किडनी मिल जाएगी. So you understand?
Yes. Thank you for that.
All right. So now we can first cover, if you guys have any questions related to the course books. Sabki, where is everybody with the assignments?
Yeah, so Prabha, I have done Vitrag 3. I'm doing kind of opposite. 3, then 2, and then 1.
Okay,
Right,
fine.
because 3 is fresh in the mind, right? So it's much more easier. So I've drafted it, right, in my notes, one note, right? So once that assignment thing is active, right, I can start uploading it.
It should be active now. Can you check?
No.
They
Yeah,
said
so I want
it's
to discuss with you, right? So I tried that. I don't see that editing mode. If I see that
Yeah.
YouTube video, right, it says the teacher can do it because it clearly says the teacher can be part of multiple things, right? So multiple.
teacher can always do all of the above. That's not the point. The point is that TL is given that ability in their user ID. So if you don't
No.
see it, you should check with the Purvaji or somebody that, hey, I don't see this, whatever the video says. Because my other batch, Krisha, I think she's been able to do it.
Okay, but then is that not a one-time activity where you just have to enable that?
Every semester, yes, one-time activity.
Okay, and then everybody would be able to do it, is it?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so let me check with Apurvaji or maybe Virendra Patniji.
Right. They one of those should. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Videndra Patni is given the job of this training the TL
Okay.
types. So check with him
Okay.
first. Yeah.
Okay, I'll check with
Yeah.
him. Right, so
Yeah, and from what I
with that-
understand, from one of the other batches, she had created this year's assignments already last year. She could do it because all it says assignment 1 and the book names, which you already know. So you could do it for multiple semesters also. Okay.
Yeah. So just to clarify, right? I mean, assignment would be summary of each chapter, right? So summary of every chapter that we
Summary,
have.
no, technically it's summary of the 2 books of paper 1.
Yeah, but
How
we
you
can
do it is up
divide
to
it.
you. You could divide it up to each from each chapter. You could comprehensively write it all. It's style thing, right? How people choose to do that, right?
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
so for example, for next semester, you would know assignment 1 is going to be which 2 books or whatever the case may be, because your DP shows that photo and you know how to read it now.
Right.
So assignments is easy. LCPA, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know. Check with Virendraji if you're supposed to copy paste that whole all the 3 questions, or you're just supposed to write LCPA. So just double check with him.
When you say copy the question, there are 3 questions, right? So we just have to answer that, right?
Right. वो तो है ही है. What are you supposed to do as a team leader? Are you supposed to
Okay.
like just write LCPA and then you're done, your job is done? Or are you supposed to post the questions also up there? That's all.
Okay, got it.
So check
But the
with
questions is the same for everyone, right? The one that you posted, right? That is the same
them.
for
For
everyone.
semester 1, yes.
Okay.
Yes. For all the students of semester 1, it's going to be the same 3 questions. But
Okay.
they're by semester. So each semester will have different questions.
Understood. Okay. Yep.
All right. Anything else? Are you, if you're
So
doing
is
assignment, where?
should we have a
Sorry,
deadline for the assignment and the LCBA?
Right. So when you
Yes.
create assignment, you're going to have to put a deadline to it.
Yeah. So can we agree on a deadline amongst the group?
Yeah. Why don't you guys decide amongst yourself? Normally, the rule is you have to give, like, after, let's say we finish the first two books, you get, I think, another week or two. Like, that's the deadline. So if you post after that, then 2 points for each day or whatever they decide. They give me some rules. So the system automatically takes off 2 points if you upload after that deadline.
Okay. Okay. So what's the deadline that everybody's comfortable doing the assignment and the LCBA? Because the exam dates are already decided, right? So that's something that we have to stick to, right? So assignment, LCBA are the two things that we need to upload it. So what does everyone think?
So where is everybody? Bahubaliji, how much have you done so far?
I have done like Namokara Mahamantra and then Vitara Vigyan Patmal 1.
Okay, so you have just done about like first
Yeah, so
assignment.
I'm planning to finish this weekend. That's my plan.
Okay. Arunji?
I have done the review of Vitrag Vigyan 1. I just have to write everything out. I was thinking to do it more elaborate, I was thinking of the questions at the end of each chapter, so I was thinking of writing answers. So that's why it's taking me time, but I thought that'll be good exam prep as well. So that was my thought process. Little long route, but
Maybe not, because the exam is a very different format. It's more multiple choice, it's not this
is
format.
LCP a better preparation for exam or?
No, just knowing the material and internalizing is really the best prep for the exam. You must know, because it's an open book exam. For fact check, you can always open the books. So sometimes they try to twist the questions, make it a little tricky. So you really have to understand the material to answer
Yeah,
it
I
correctly.
mean, the sense I got from the LCPA questions that we reviewed is it's not
Exactly.
straightforward. You do have to
Right.
understand to see what applies. So which is
Exactly.
just kind of
Yes.
good because it challenges us to think more about.
Right, exactly. And the whole point is, this is not the cramming kind of exam ki grahit ki definition yaad kar liya hi, agrahit ki yaad kar li, ho gaya. No, you kind of really have to know what it is, right? So, okay, Nidhi ji.
Ma'am, I have completed Vitrak Vigyan 1, Namukar Mantra Anushilan, Vitrak Vigyan 2, Shakahar, Mythbusters thereof, and I'm working on Vitrak Vigyan 3. Half done.
Excellent. Very good, very good. That's a good pace. Very good. Okay, Safalta ji.
You're mute. Safaldaji, you're on mute.
Prabhaji, I did Vikrag Vigyan 1, 3, and Namokar Mahamantra.
1, 3.
Means
okay.
1, 3,
Okay, so
yeah.
the 3 was a standalone, so you run with that, and then 1 and Mantra. So you just got the paper 2, 1 left to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Can we do in parts, like we upload the like Vitrag Vigyan 1 and Namokar Mantra?
Yeah,
is,
that's the way it's going to be. Yes, the assignments are
okay.
3 assignments, right? So you do that and
Yeah.
you take pictures, make a PDF, you upload it. That's how it is going to be
Yeah,
done.
and before the exam 2, we can upload our second part of our summary. Can we do that way?
Ideally, all 3 of them, yes. This year you've gotten a lot of time because they were not prepared with the technology. Otherwise, if it was available, you were supposed to do it long time ago when we finished, Vitrak Vigyan 1. Within that week, you were supposed to be done with it. Okay.
And do we need to just make the summaries, or also question answers at the end of the chapters are there?
No,
So
the
do we need
summaries
to
in your
do that?
words. It doesn't have to be very elaborate. I mean, for your own purpose, even if you do the question answers and they're not going to be part of the exam, it's still not hurting you. It's actually still helping you understand it thoroughly. So there's no harm, obviously. But if time is an issue, then the goal is not to answer the questions, all of them at the end of the book. Okay. All right, Viraji.
Yeah, I have done 1 and 2. So I made the
Okay.
summary. I just had one question. Where do I upload? Not the
No,
Noodle.
not
Where do
yet, because Amitji
No.
has to create. Okay.
Ah.
Amitji, did they also provide the video for students, the process of uploading?
Yeah,
They
so
should.
no, the same YouTube video, right, of creating is there. Then uploading would not be a challenge. They would see it once they log into the Moodle, right,
Once you
and they
log
have to.
in, you
I
mean.
logged into the Moodle. I tried it. Yeah. So
Oh,
it's
because
in
no.
there.
So far, nothing shows because he has not created. Amit has to create those assignments for you to see it.
I
So
see.
that is to be done. Once you
Yeah.
see them, then you'll get a little thing which says upload and whatever it
But
says.
it'll
you
be
keep.
in the Moodle only. It'll be
Yes,
the same
Correct.
thing.
Same
Okay.
place.
Yeah, the password and all works. I was able to at least log in.
Okay.
There was nothing there, like you said, but okay.
So
Good.
can we
Very
handwrite
All
the
right.
summary, then upload a picture of it?
No,
PDF
so
or
picture of.
picture?
Yeah, if I
Yes,
handwrite the
basically
summary,
you're going to take pictures and make a PDF. There are PDF making apps. If people are not familiar, then whoever is can teach the other people. So it's a simple
And
process.
Yeah, it's just
Prabhaji, can we?
Acrobat. If anybody needs help, I can help, you know.
Okay, so ask Viraj if you cannot
Yeah.
figure out how to make that PDF. Yes, Safaltaji.
Do we need to write by like handwritten? It should be, or we can type
No,
also.
anything type is better for you because kai baar you can't read your own handwriting. So if you type it, that'll be.
Actually, yeah, that's the case with me.
I always type, so and that way I have them on my computer still there, versus if you handwrite, then all those pages sometimes they're trashed and whatever. So yeah, typing is always
Right.
great. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Dinesh Burarji. Unmute.
Dinesh,
Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on these things. I'm started with VV3 and then I'll go back to do VV1. And I have the notes when the courses were doing, I just have to put them together.
Okay, so just so my other batch team leader, what she did is she put it July 11th as the deadline. She figured like we should at least all be done before the exam starts. Now, I understand some of you are quite behind. So either we can put July, I don't know, 20 or some odd date, or we can put 11th and then those who are not done, then we extend it, whichever way you want.
July 1st
suggestion
will
I
be in
Prabhaji-
Jaina, so later will be better.
Well, 11th, but 11th doesn't help because those 4 or 5 days in between
Yeah.
be gone, China.
Yeah.
So
Prabhaji, one idea could be that because these exams are, I think the first exam is between 11th July to 20th of July. The second is from 21st July to 30th. And I think it goes in steps of 10 days. So it might be appropriate to maybe say for first assignment, we upload it by 10th of July, second one, just a day before each exam slot starts.
yes, we could.
That way we could be sort of mentally ready for the exam as well. And there's a natural
All right,
deadline.
we can do that. Let's just go with
So
that.
paper one. So paper one, right? The two books that we
Paper
have,
one
right?
summary will be due before July 11th.
Okay.
So
got it.
July 10th, we can upload it. The second one, we can upload it July 20th, and third one, July 30th, I think, something like that.
Okay, that way,
Yeah.
you're kind of, even if you did it at the last minute while you're revising, you could still have the opportunity to.
It just feeds into your exam prep also, right? So
Yeah, but that is only this semester. Next semester, that won't be allowed.
totally get it. We'll have to be more timely next semester.
Yep. Okay, and those who are trying to work backwards, then they need to straighten their system. So, otherwise, you'll be done with 3 and 2, and deadline for 1 will be coming up. So,
So can we
All right.
VV1? What are the deadlines again? Sorry.
VV1 and Namokarman
Namokarman.
July 10th. Yeah, go ahead, Arunji.
So BB1 and Namo Karmante Kanushila, that'll be your assignment 1, which will be due July 10th. I think second exam is just BB2, if I remember correctly.
VB2 and
No,
Shakahar, no?
Yeah. So that will be July 20th, and BB3 would be due July 30th.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, okay, are there any questions from your revision? Otherwise, we'll start taking personal experiences.
So just the
Why?
last one, right? So assignment, right, has to be like one file, whatever, one PDF for
That's
one, like Vitrak Vigyan one PDF, then Shakahar another PDF. No?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's
One
true.
and
Okay.
Namokar Mantra 1 PDF, Shakahar and VV2 a second PDF, and then VV3 third PDF. Fourth PDF will be LCPA.
Okay, so 4 files. Okay, got it. Okay.
Files, 4 files, yes. And then your exam is not going to be on Moodle. They're going to send Google Forms. So,
Okay, yes. Yeah, we know that.
all right. Who all is going to China? Is it Arunji? I think Dinesh and
I'm on vacation for next 1 week. I'm leaving on Saturday and back on next Sunday. So
okay.
I'm not
All
going
right.
to China.
Oh, you just happen to be away. All right. So I don't know anybody else from this group. Nobody's
Dinesh,
coming to
Dinesh.
I'm going to Jana, the Jaana.
China. Yeah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, me and my family is going to China.
Dinesh and Deepali always go, so I'm
Yeah.
they
sure
will.
the whole family goes, like his mother, father, everybody. So
Right. Okay. All right. So
Will you be there at China?
I am going, yes. I'm going to be at probably both. There's an overlap and we had registered already for Jaina, so we'll probably just do the last day of Jana then. Or in between, hop in and out. I don't know how it's going to be. We'll see. So, okay. So Jaina, Jana, both sort of, they also have a social aspect that you get to meet people, obviously. Jana is more adhyatmic, more knowledge-based. Jaina is both knowledge and social. It's designed for families, so there's something for everybody. And it's a good way to get your kids interested because kids get to meet friends, they get to do some fun stuff, so they don't feel like religion is just, pravachan, like kind of that way. And Jana, of course, is primarily only pravachans. So, okay. All right. So can we, Bahubali ji, do you want to talk next about your experiences this semester?
Yeah, I can talk. Okay, so since I born and brought up in Jain family, but I born in a village where it is a mix of like Veerashaivas and Jains, like 50-50%.
What is Veerashaiva? I don't know who that
Veerashaivas is more of like followers of Shiva.
Oh.
Like Hindus. So like we used to share like, there are a lot of festivals. We used to participate and here and there. And the concept is like, okay, all God is one, but somehow we are Jains. We're not them. So we have a, so only thing I knew was the Namokara mantra. That's it. So other than that, come every Saturday or come anything, we used to go to all the temple, put oil, deepas, and all non-Jain temple. Okay, there is a festival of like a snake that they go and pour the milk on the snake statues, all sorts of, and then so that's how it was, and then I got exposed to the yoga and then meditation until 2012. I was I was not really completely into Jainism. So I was done art of living courses, did meditation, and then I read some of the books like Bhagavad Gita, Ashtavakra Gita, Vashishta Yoga, those kind of things. And even Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, all those things. So when I was doing a lot of meditation and all the things, I come to a point where it does not go anywhere. It looks like no matter what you do, there is some creator. He created this one. He's managing. So they all talk about righteousness and doing good and gaining punya, and then you go there, and then he will send back again. So there is no final destination. There is no real liberation. So each sects of these will talk about in different sense. Okay, you go to Vishnu feet, Vishnu abode, or go to this, that, and then after reading Jainism, came to know that 10 Koda Kodi Sagar verse, they might again restart the universe. So that time the soul will come back. So I read more, came to know that there is no end to it. So it's also, it's whatever they say, like it is like, oh, you do this one, then you attain moksha. In their context, it's not really. So then I thought in 2012, I thought, I am a Jain, I'm born as a Jain. Why don't I read Jainism, about Jainism? So when I started reading Jainism, I didn't understand anything because concept is totally different. There is no similarity. There's nothing. So then I was searching on the YouTube. I found a video, the discourses of Sanjeev Kumar Goda on karma. There is, he was in Dallas. I mean, not live, recorded one. It's all about karmas. So then I got really interested. Then I listened a lot, Sanjeev Kumar Godaji, and then all the Barilaji and all the things. So, but it was always shaky. It was. So then I read a lot of discourse, listened to discourses, and then Dinesh Bhai Shah and Ujjwal Shah, those Ujjwal Shah. So I think I read so much of books and then discourses. So then slowly I started understanding the concepts. Then I really felt that, I mean, all other religions, all other concepts are just its fantasies. Okay. So it's all fantasies. Those I started, then firm belief started coming, like why the way Jain concepts are like this, how the independence between all the objects. And even though the Hinduism talks a little bit, but always there is a connectedness. So here it is, they all are independent. They do not hurt, do not help each other. It is just naimithic, that kind of this thing. If something is there happening, then you are witnessing. Maybe you are influencing. They are influencing, but it appears to be influencing. So this slowly, this concept building, and then started understanding more and more. And then why we do not, the charitrik, conduct wise, why you do not this way, why you do not these things, why not eat, all those things, why it is really keeping you away, soul away from the soul itself. And then, so these are like very concrete way it started, the realization started happening. Then I actually enrolled to Paramagama honors like 5 years back. Because of some reason, I did not continue, but I read a lot of books that time. I attended one semester, I think. So it changed a lot. Now the unnecessary fear of something like, okay, if you do this, that punishment, those are all gone, completely gone. It's like you are the soul, untouchable, you are independent. Because of your misunderstanding, your association is happening. With the association itself, all the problems. So, and also it's, as Dinesh said, like it's in the Graita, Agraita, it's like if the soul is there forever, beginningless time, and it will be there for endless time, that means how many times we took different forms. That means that Graita, it's been so accumulated. It's okay. It will take a lot of time. Okay, that's fine. But I'm there all along. It's always independent. So
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, this experience, this feeling itself is started relieving me in a sense, like, okay. So with the systematic learning of this now, the Karma honors all the Balabada Patamala and Vitaraga, Tupagyan Patamala, all this really like such a direction and such a relief it is. So now I do visit because we have common friends. They are like when I was doing Art of Living, meditation, a lot of good friends. They are also good people. So I do meet. They know they know that I am following Jainism. When I go to their home, they will not cook food with onion and garlic. They will not give me anything that has this root vegetables. So and also they will come and ask me about some of the doubts. I explain all in the context of Jain principles. So they really like it. So I mean, now I do not really compete with anybody, do not really care about anybody. I mean, about what they say and all things. I'm so confirmed that this is what it is, the truth. Okay, so even in work also, so when ups and downs happens, that's akulata is always there. So it is, and also based on our past karma, it is giving some fruits. So know that the karma chakra is going on. I am witnessing, so I need not have to caught up. So it is okay. You feel bad and good, but immediately realize that. So know that it's not you, but it's been happening. So do not bind sata asata. Do not bind more karma. Yeah. So these things are really becoming more and more like disciplined in my thinking, even my conduct. So Paramagama honors is the best course because it is go step by step, baby steps. It's go baby step by step and teaches you, make you understand. And sometimes in the beginning, I got the concept, but what I need to really anupreksha, what I need to really think, what is that? Can I just say that it's all independent? It's when the problem comes again, I say, if it is independent, why I'm worried? So this concept actually make me think that again about Bara Bhavana, correct? So we have everything, sometimes happy, sometimes, but think about Bara Bhavana. So that will always bring you back to the soul. Think about the seven tattvas. So it's a Ajiva Tattva, Jiva Tattva. Of course, we have the Jiva Dravya, Jiva Tattva, Ajiva Dravya, Dravyas, and Ajiva Tattva. What is that actually? So the Tattvas, one thing really convinced me is that is one is with you, is only with you only.
Yes. Tattva is only you. Everybody
Only
else
you.
is not Tattva
Everybody
for you.
else is Ajiva Tattva. So you are only the Jiva Tattva. So these concepts and this Bara Bhavana and then Shat Varga, that's the 6 essentials you need to follow. And then Dashalakshana Dharma. So I always keep saying those names all the time. So saying names is make sure that I'll remember. And then once I remember, I definitely get the meaning also. And then I can meditate on them or be in them. So that's my experience all
And
along.
meditation is not always sitting an hour and
Yeah,
doing.
no, not that.
It's
Yes,
just contemplating all day long, walking, talking
exactly.
doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my wife is, I mean, she used to do a lot of charitrik thing, Rutas and all, but she's not into the concept. But because of hers, I'm become more Jaina. She makes sure the food she cooks, make sure like if I do not want to go anywhere, she do not force me. And because of me, she
Oh,
even does not go to any of this all Satyanarayana pujas are all gone. All those are gone now.
she's Jane or not Jane?
So she's Jain. She's Jain.
She's Jane. Okay, good.
She's
Okay,
Jain.
okay.
She's pure Jain. Yeah, yeah. So my daughter, she is not completely into, but we talk every day. I send her like all these books, and then we used to talk every day, but last 1 month we have stopped. But she also learned a lot about karmas and jivas and all this.
Very good. Good.
Yeah,
Good
so it's been like, for me, it is like 24/7 now. It is like
very
all the time
very
that is
good.
there in my mind all along. That it's more
Excellent.
confirmed with Paramaga honors. I'm set. There is no diversion of
We have a
anything.
direction in life. We have a goal. There's
Yeah.
always a purpose in life,
Yes,
right? That's
exactly.
what people say. What do you live for? We
Yeah.
have a purpose now.
Yeah. Some people, sometimes I talk with my colleague, I say like, I want to retire. They say, what you do? How do you spend your time? You'll be bored. I said, no, I never will be bored. I have so much to do.
Yes, and you really aren't. I mean, I have, given up working for a long, long
Yeah.
time, and There's never a reason to get bored. I was stuck in India 5 months during COVID, and people like, oh, you must be so miserable. I said, no, I'm fine. I
Yeah.
do the same thing I did there. I
Yeah.
do the same thing here.
Yes.
Read, so yeah, you're
Yeah.
never bored either. So yeah.
Yeah. So I have all sorts of PDFs, but Paramagama Honors is the one made me systematically know, understand, go, and that made me like more firm in the path. Actually, that is that's my experience, and I believe that's going to continue.
Very good. Very good. Okay, thank you so much, Biliji.
So,
Who wants
so
to go
Prabha,
next?
just curious more, right? Like as you said, right, every day, right? So what do you generally do? You keep reading the text
What do
again,
I
or
do?
how? Yeah,
No.
just in general. I just want to
So,
understand what will happen
okay,
after retirement if
right.
you
Of course,
pursue this.
people who are into reading, like my husband, can read all day long, but I'm not that type, and I kind of that's too much for me. So, what do I do? I mean, of course, I have a lot of other interests too. It's not like I've given up other interests of life. They go on, but then this is like a dhaga, right? The other things happen, but the soul is always there. It's always in the background, right? Now, how we kind of fill our days is we actually do spend at least 6 hours of our days in Swadhyay. So morning, we have a Swadhyay. It's a group of 30 people, 40 people. We get together on conference call, Zoom, whatever. Listen to Gurudev Paravashan, and then somebody summarizes, or we just discuss that topic, that sort of a thing, right? And there's so many going on. A lot of them are in Hindi or Gujarati. Nothing is in English so far. And then somebody else we listen to, they'll pick up a book and read and talk about it. It's more like a discussion group than actually a teacher teaching. But yes, there is somebody who is in charge or teaching, sort of thing. And then so that's the morning, like 3-4 hours go in
So
that.
when you said Gurudev, so it is Gurudev Shri Kanji
That's
Swami's.
Kanji Swami's pravachans. Yeah, there
Okay.
is recordings of Kanji
So
Swami's pravachans, which you can read, and you can now get recordings where you can see the verbiage of it, and line by line it highlight as it's going, and you listen, because sometimes his voice is not as clear, or somebody like me who is not Gujarati, the Gujarati is not easy to understand, that type of thing. So
okay,
yes,
but there is a specific thing that okay, so let's say Samaisar, then Samaisar, right? The
right.
first
So the group
verse and then
decide
second
which
verse.
granth to take, and that granth can go on for 3 years, for example, because they
Got
go
it.
into all the pravachans of Swamiji, right? And then so you listen to each pravachan on each gatha and discuss it to the nth level, whatever.
So is the Bhavarth discussed, and then everybody's
Oh,
opinion or
yes.
something additional
Everybody
that somebody
gives
wants
their
to
opinion.
relate it?
Right. After I did Parmagam, I kind of introduced this summary concept to them that, let somebody summarize. So then, like, one person has the task of doing it. Then for him, that gatha becomes, they own it, right? Because you guys saw this, when you summarize something, you know that topic very well. So then, yeah, so they've sort of summarized it, so everybody gets to hear it one more time. And then if anybody has confusion, they ask, and anybody can answer. If it gets down to where you really cannot answer a query, then you take it to some pundits and ask, and that type of thing. So then that, and then the similar things, 2-3 hours in the evening. And then in the afternoon, also there are something. I mean, there's always something available to you other than the YouTube videos, live things also. So we try to do as much as we can, at least 5-6 hours. And then again, life still happens. So, if you're traveling or if you're busy with projects, some of the things may or may not happen. Morning time, we usually like to start the day that way, but evening sometimes can be missed, depending on what's going on. So
And
it gives you a
anything
sense of
other than
commitment.
Swadhyay? Anything other than Swadhyay that keeps you binding? See, I mean, my personal experience is I get hiccups of it. Like for some days, right, I'm too much focused. Something then else happens, right, and somehow it goes completely back off
Right.
track, right?
So then
Maybe less than
what you
half an
can
hour
do
per day,
also,
then it
right.
becomes.
So for you, you can always pick up a granth that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read a page every day, 2 page every day, whatever the case may be. So you make yourself a little routine. So it helps to have a little discipline, because otherwise, life happens, just
Yeah.
like kids when they're in school, we try to give them, this is your homework hour, this is your this hour, like kind of you need a little discipline in life to actually make it happen. So yeah, I mean, you can decide, okay, after dinner, I'm going to sit for an hour or whatever time suits. But continuity is important. It helps a lot. I mean, even my other class says this, that just this 2 hours a week, twice a week, is like it keeps them going. Otherwise, they think they're slipping. So that continuity is important. Yes.
Okay. And any practices that you do other than Swadhyay which helps?
So practices come later. Well, I did practice fasting and even before all this knowledge. Can't remember why. Either I got it from my previous birth. I remember out of nowhere in my college, I did 5 upvas. And my mom made me break it because she's like, I don't know what to do if you do a Thai. I don't know the ritual. So just forget it. Don't do it. So,
Okay.
but why I thought of doing it, can't remember. So that must have come from my previous life that I felt like fasting. So then I did 8 fast one time here. That time I didn't understand much. I had all these weird thoughts about, hey, at least now I experience what hunger feels like, or what do those beggars who don't get food feel like. I had all these kind of weird thoughts about it.
So this is
So
before you learned all this, is it?
yes. So
Okay.
I'm like trying to analyze, why am I doing this at Thai? Why am I like making myself not eat? Even though when you're younger, it's really not a big deal. I mean, it wasn't torture to me. I was just fine with it. I was actually even working 5 days out of those 8 days, and it was over a long weekend. So I got 3 days, off and all that. So it worked out really well. And there was no big deal about it. I mean, even though during the Parna, we had everybody come to our house and all that happened. But then I didn't follow any of usually after a Thai, they say 8 days, you have to be careful, which I was not. On the Parna day, there was a wedding. So I went to the reception and I was like, oh, I was missing all this food. So let me eat everything. So that was the big thing. So then, of course, it gave me a lot of acidity the next day. Then I had to do one more upvas and, that kind of happens when you're young. So, so then the next time I did a Thai or 9 or whatever, I had a little better understanding of it. And then I would do Atam Chaudas. I would do fast, but to me now, it is to make me feel it independent. I'm not a slave of food, because soul doesn't eat, right? So for me, it is to give me that feeling of I'm not dependent on food. I can live without tea. I can live with anything. Like basically, that's the whole point, is that soul is not dependent on anything, not even your senses. So to me, these are experiments with myself that yes, I can stay hungry. I could be drinking tea for a year and I'll just give it up for 6 months just to prove it to myself that I'm not addicted to it. So,
but how do you know, right, that your attachment, aversion, everything, rag, wo sab come ho raha hai? I mean, how would you judge, right? Saying that.
Yes, you should experiment with yourself. So today you say, similar situation, what did I do 8 months ago? How did I react? And how am I reacting today? You can observe yourself. So it is somewhat experimenting with the principles on your own, nobody else. You don't judge other people with it. So, and that's what it is. I mean, it has to be experimental with yourself to make it yours.
For me, one of the concept, I mean, maybe we learn in detail in Paramagammanas, but also we learned in the Who Am I, correct? So soul only knows itself, in the sense like it knows what is reflected in Jnana Guna. That means it knows only it knows that what is reflected through Jnana only. So is that really like wow moment? I said, oh my God. So all the time whether you are mithyatvi or not, you are knowing all the time yourself. That's how
Mhm.
amazing it is.
Regardless of, yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's a very big concept that
Yeah.
people have a hard time figuring out.
Yeah.
This morning in our
Yeah.
Swadhyay, we did this topic where
Yeah.
Kanji Swami is explaining, like most people think we know because I have this lamp in front of me,
Yeah.
or I have this book in front of me. I know this laptop because it's in front of me. No,
Yeah.
you're only knowing your gyan,
Yeah.
the reflection of this in your
Yeah.
gyan.
And the analogy is like mirror. What is reflected? Like fire reflects in the mirror. It's a reflectivity. It's a really fire is not there. The mirror only because of the reflectivity. So there is no difference in the.
So that's what I'm saying. So one
Yeah.
is to hear the concept, the
Yeah.
other is to apply it,
Yeah.
right? Those are real
Yeah.
examples. You know, you
Exactly.
see
Yeah.
fire and it doesn't get into you. So
Yeah.
same way, the knowledge is just
Yeah.
there. It doesn't become you. It
Yeah.
doesn't come into you.
So
So
that
you're
for
always
me.
knowing
Yeah.
yourself. Your
Yeah.
own gyan pratikbimb
Yeah.
is all you're knowing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's for me. I mean, it's always fleeting, correct? That you about sometimes experience, suddenly it goes away. Suddenly it goes away because
And
it's
stay
yeah.
with it, though. Staying with
Yeah.
it is very important. That
Yeah.
is yeah,
Yeah.
true. Okay, great. Safalta ji, you want to share something?
Mute,
Yeah,
mute,
still unmute.
unmute.
Still unmute.
जी, I corrected my definition of खुद को पाना क्योंकि previously we used to hear the stories of Mahavir Swami and all तीर्थंकर भगवान कि उन्होंने दीक्षा ली और चारित्र लेके वो अपना मेडिटेशन में रहे. तो what basically meditation means is staying clear of thoughts. ये मेरा था जो definition मुझे समझ में आया. But meditation basically soul के ऊपर करने वाला meditation is the best meditation. तो वो एक तो चीज समझ में आई. Another thing, like religion की definition भी time to time kept on changing. At the age of 18, like I've been born in a Jain family, and stubbornly we are Shwetambar. So, but after 18, I realized that the people who are more religious are more stubborn, and they are not even pleasant to others. So, I decided to leave all the kriyas, whatever I've learned. So, I slowly started turning a Gnostic, and I learned that I need to be just a good human being, like a pleasant human being to others. So after a gap of almost 20 years, I'm back to Jainism. I had realized even I'm actually my marriage is intercaste, so I was more in Punjabis since I was 21. So after 20 years, I realized that the religion taught me to be like my mind was more strong when I was in Jainism. And now my son turned 18, and I realized that what upbringing I got in a religious family, and what mentality I had, what determination I had for anything, that my son doesn't have it. So now I started him to like be more religious, to listen to the stavan, to sing along, to like chanting Naukar mantra. So now I am teaching him. And yeah, and after Prabha Mohnot, first of all, sorry, you're not audible, sorry. Ji.
No, that's okay. All I said was jab jago tab savera. So
Right. Yeah, actually, प्रभा जी, honestly, मतलब जो भी जैसे रूटीन में जो सामायिक करते हैं, जो व्रत करते हैं, तो even today, when I see people जो बहुत ज्यादा religious है, they are more stubborn. Like बहू के साथ में जो अत्याचार करने वाली सासू माँ है, वो mostly religious सासू माँ ही देखी है. तो I never wanted to be that. तो रिलीजन की डेफिनेशन अभी थोड़ी सी करेक्ट हुई है एंड ये परमागम क्लास के लिए जो थैंक्स है फर्स्ट दिनेश जी, क्योंकि जो वो निमित्त बने थे, ही जस्ट टेक्स्ट मी कि आपको करना है। आई इवन डिडंट नो कि अभी जैनिज्म का है, मुझे क्यों सीखना है, क्या जरूरत है, आई एम अ गुड ह्यूमन बीइंग ऑलरेडी, आई एम ट्राइंग टू बी डूइंग गुड थिंग्स। तो स्टिल मतलब जैसे ना कहने की आदत नहीं थी, मतलब मॉम ने सिखाया कि कभी कुछ अच्छी चीज कोई बोले तो आपको ना नहीं बोलना है, तो दैट्स इन मी। तो बस ना नहीं बोला, मैंने कहा जस्ट लेट्स ट्राई एंड देन बिग थैंक्स टू यू। तो यू फीड मी वेल। अभी वो कैटेगोरिकली अभी रिलीजन की डेफिनेशन क्लियर हो गई है। एंड इवन आई वेंट टू विपासना, जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं आपने आप भी जाके आए हैं, तो इवन आई वेंट देयर एंड I I found that yeah, it teaches a good like a lot about how to stay peaceful. So I started believing in that. Even I started listening to the Brahma Kumaris, and BK Shivani is the one whom I listen a lot before you. But now I don't think I look for any other videos other than our Parmagam. Thanks.
That's good. So that's the important thing. There's nothing wrong with going elsewhere. See, because well, so now you've at least stayed. By the way, मैंने भी सब कुछ सुना हुआ है, so nothing, no offense there. So because she sounds very good, her style of talking is very peaceful, but soon you catch that there's not much substance there, right? Because वो सब इतना surface level का है, तो वो तो इतनी जल्दी छूट जाएगा. You want something that is deep, that goes with you. And so very good job. And you know, a batch, there is 19-year-old girl, there's college going kids, there's a 73-year-old lady, big variation in the other semester one batch. So I mean, kudos to those 19 years old and those people. I'm like, you guys are going to be such good moms and dads to your kids now that you have the understanding. It'll be so easy for you to give it, pass it along to your little ones. But at the same time, any age is good to start this, right? I mean, from my experience, lucky for me, my husband knew nothing except Naukar Mantra. So obviously he had it. So whatever he did, I followed, and I couldn't because I was taking care of the family also. So obviously I didn't do as much as him. We would go to Jaina and I'd be looking after my little one and my mother-in-law and this and that. And he would be the one, the forefront. Everybody knew him. Nobody knew who I was. So, but because at least one of the parents kind of had the interest, our kids got, you know, whatever background they could from little different, and sometimes wonder it would have been nice if we could give this also to our children. But again, there should never be any regrets or guilt. Okay, they got what was meant for them, and then we do the best we can at any age that we learned it. We try to pass it along to the kids. If they accept it, great. If they don't accept, that's their upadhan. So, okay, all right, great, thank you. All right, who wants to go next? Viraj, do you want to do it?
Yeah. So I also grew up, in a Jain family, Shwetambar. So there was a lot of Kriya all through our childhood. So obviously, go for darshan and go to Palitana and things like that. So had some of the concepts, but never really fully understood it. Then the journey became into yoga and vipassana and things like that. So there I basically just learned a little bit of detachment and, not being attached, but never got the full knowledge of Jainism or the whole idea of how everything works. Then we joined some Swadhyay just like this in Gujarati. For almost 2 years, we were reading books, but it was not structured. And I really didn't pick up much, much in that. But now with this Parmagam honors, it goes step by step. So I'm still not like 100%, not like Bahubali ji, but I'm on the way to understanding and implementing it more day to day. So like, just as an example, had some setback in business, and normally I would be quite upset and very angry and things like that, and now kind of have accepted it for what it is and do the best I can. So that's the change that I have now, and a little bit more detachment on day-to-day things.
Very good. Very good. That's a big accomplishment, of course. And we all know, I mean, I think we're all, oh, my internet connection is not good. So can you guys, is my voice choppy?
It was
You're
breaking up
breaking
in
a lot.
Can you
between.
hear me?
Now
Okay.
we can hear you, but it breaks once in a
Yeah,
while.
it says my internet. Yeah, it says my internet connection is not that good. Anyway, so the point is, see, we take money in this morning batch. Also, I was just talking about this, that we obviously have attachment to money, right? I mean, we all came to this country to earn money or whatever the case may be, right? But once you understand truly who you are, that attachment loosens up, right? Then your priority sort of changes. And then you realize, what good is it? I spend so much time, so much energy to make money, and then you die with tons of money in the bank that you don't know what your kids are going to do, whether they're going to put it the right use or not. और अगर गलत यूज में डाल दिया तो उसका पाप भी हमें लगेगा. So what's the point of all this, right? So of course my husband got the idea much sooner than I did. He wanted to retire very early in life, and I was like, what are you going to do after you retire if you don't, like, or are we going to have enough money for the rest of the life? And that time the kids, I don't remember, still were in college or not. So he was like, okay, why don't you tell me how much you were going to need till the end of your life, and I'll make that much money and then retire. I'm like, what kind of a question is that? I cannot predict inflation. It's an unknown factor. I cannot give you a number because I don't know what the inflation rate can be. And we're already seeing inflation in the past 2 years is ridiculous. So I was like, I can't give you that number, but you cannot quit working either. It's funny. And finally he decided, well, he made this big, he's a very engineer, so very analytical, made this Excel spreadsheet for me. And he's like, until I reach 90, I'm going to be making the same amount of money. So I think we're okay to retire. So whatever he did, he did. But then I got to, so I was supposed to go back to work after a little break in my career. And I'm like, you know what? If he doesn't care about money, why should I? So it was easy for me to give up too. So I'm like, yeah, there's no need. And then you realize as you live life that your needs actually reduce as you grow older. You don't even have that many needs. You eat less, you do, less money. So what's the point? And no matter whether you have business, you do job, everything's come with some level of stress, right? And then you realize, what's the need for this for me? So let me explore myself. And you could do this till you get some darshan. And that's a great way to be busy. So, and then I realized, yeah, he was right. It was not a wrong decision to retire early. And then I also realized that punya hai to paise ko aane se bhi koi nahi rok sakta. Whether I want it or not, if money has to come to me, my investments will do well, something else will happen where I'll get money, even if I don't go out working for it. So having that faith or realizing that faith, both ways, good or bad, either money coming or money not coming or going out, doesn't matter. Because a lot of times, like you're saying, Viraj, in business, things didn't turn out for whatever little project, whatever the case may be. It's obviously it's not your doing. It's,
Yeah.
some other factors included, right? So then
Yeah.
you start wondering, oh yeah, I did my best, yet something came about which didn't make things happen the way they were supposed to. So obviously there's a lot more than my current doing. So let me explore what else is there out there. So then you're inquisitive about that knowledge. And then it comes with peace that, yes, okay, now in just this, since we are on the topic, we studied there was a karma chapter, right? And this is for all of you.
Yeah.
Which karma is in fruition?
Which
Sorry,
karma is it?
Apply your knowledge now.
No, your voice was breaking, Prabhaji.
He
Which
said,
karma
what
was?
did you say?
She's saying
sorry.
which karma?
Viraj said that his I forgot what- is in Uday for him to have a setback or whatever in his business.
Sata. Vedaniya karma.
Could be one. Vedaniya is how it makes him feel about it. He may
Yeah,
not feel
it's a
bad. In that
Mohaniya
case,
karma
it's
and
not
the
Sata.
Mohaniya karma and the
Antaray karma.
yeah,
No. Yes, that's correct. And which
Antaray
Antaray?
karma. Yeah.
Both.
Labhantaray.
Yep, that is it.
Which antra?
Labhantaray.
So Lab Antaray. Remember there was 4
Lab
types of
antra.
Antaray karma?
Yeah.
Dan,
Antra I
Lab,
knew. I didn't know. Yeah.
Lab, right? Yeah. So which Antaray, right? So, and then we relate it to we in our lives not thinking much about it, prevent people from donating, prevent, or in our lives,
Prabhaji,
so many instances happen. You may have not necessarily this life. Cutting again,
yeah. So, I mean, do
choppy
you want to
voice.
stop your video or something just to see if the voice becomes better? We can hear you, but there is a lot of
Yeah, let
latency
me do
delay.
this. Yeah, that is weird. Okay, is
Yeah.
this make it any better?
Oh, much better.
Okay.
Now there is no latency, at least not for me.
Great. The funny thing is the technician just came today and he, I don't know what he did. He was supposed to make it better. It's gotten worse. Okay. Anyway, so what I was trying to say is, so let's say this happened. So blaming it on karmas is also not a good idea, right? Because karma is still just a nimitt, right? So even though that nimitt happened, some circumstances came to you. Now how you take it. So right. So one thing is ki asata ka uday hai, so you will feel sad about it and whatever, right? But karma alone cannot control us. So even if there was a little bit of asata ka uday, now you have the right thinking about it. That okay, so fine, there was this little setback, whether it was loss of money or loss of something else, or you say, okay, there was this uday, this has happened, but who is to blame? Even though in the current picture, there might be somebody actually to be blamed, either an employee or a client, or doesn't matter. But then you think back that Anadi say, I have not had this knowledge. I have been an antray to people, whether it is for their knowledge, whether for their wealth, for something. And if it came back to me, what is the big deal? So right away, it reduces the number of days you would spend where the problem is. And I mean, in general, yes, in corporate life, you have to analyze and see where the problems were so you can further advance and do better. But at the same time, it's also a blame game, right? So you kind of prevent yourself from all that, brainstorming. And that is not to say that you don't do what's required for the business. Yes, you still have to pinpoint where the problem was, but it gives you a lot more clarity in life, is what I'm saying, in every aspect of it. So, okay, good. Nidhi, you want to go next?
Uh,
Unmute, please.
yeah, I have unmuted myself. I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
Yes,
you
we
are.
can hear you.
Okay, you're good. We can hear you, yes.
Um, I also identify with the experiences already shared, and to add to those, first of all, I'm extremely grateful to people who have initiated this Parmagam honors, to Swanubhuti ji, you. It has been an eye opener, and I would say it has set me on a path which will change my life, uh, which I strongly feel. Uh, I was always I was not aware of Jainism as such, because all I listened to about was व्यवहार. व्यवहार में जो धर्म होता है, that is, ये करना चाहिए, व्रत करने चाहिए, उपवास करने चाहिए, इससे पाप लगता है, इससे पुण्य लगता है. But uh, with Parmagam honors, I have got to know that आत्मा में रहना ही धर्म है, और आत्मा का स्वभाव जो है उसमें उसको जानना ही धर्म है, और बाकी सब जो है that follows. So as a result, the quality of because I'm a Digambar Jain, I go to mandir, so the quality of darshan has improved. The way I perceive things has improved. It it has given me a lot of direction. I'm now working on my addictions also. Like, I have a addiction for coffee, so I'm working on that. And I feel that I have much lesser negative feelings towards people who might have done, unknowingly were negative towards me. Now I feel that I'm devoid of any negative feelings for them. I feel much calmer, more peaceful, and now I do swadhyay almost daily. I cannot say every day because of work and life happens. So, but I try to do it every day, and it is my favorite pastime now. So thank you so much for the Parmagam honors course, and I'm also asking my siblings and and their kids and my kids to try this course, join this. But I don't know whether they do it or not, because I am always advocating this course to them, so that they actually get to know what Jainism is actually. It is basically, I believe, a way to live life in a proper way. Thank you.
Very good, good, yes. And it's okay, हम किसी को भी प्रोत्साहन दें, but अगर वो नहीं भी join करें, तो भी it's not our problem, right? It's our job to, of course, encourage others because we mean well for them. But if they join, great. If they don't, it's nothing, on us. So that's one thing to understand. Good job. Who did not go? Amit ji, Arun ji ka ho gaya na? Are you done, Arun ji? You want to go next?
नहीं मेरा नहीं हुआ.
Okay. चलिए आप
Yeah,
बताइए.
yeah, sure. So I was born in a very devout sort of Digambar Jain family, and my father happened to be he had great interest in Jainism. He was very well read. In fact, after his retirement, he also used to deliver the daily pravachan at the temple. So I generally stayed with him only till the age of 12. Unfortunately, I didn't spend my teen years with him because I went out to study, and then I went to engineering college in Pilani and did my engineering, and then of course he passed away when I was in Pilani. But I do remember going to Kanji Swami Shivir when I was 10 years old, spending time there. And I always found it very interesting, but all those concepts of Jeev Pudgal that he used to talk about was like beyond my understanding at that time. But anyway, we grew up like he used to go to temple every day, and we'll have this Dash Lakshan Vrat. So even on Sundays during that time, we will keep Vrat and everything, follow everything. So at least the ritualistic part was kind of well known. With some understanding, my mother and my father both encouraged me to, even as a young child, read some Shastra. So whatever we understood, I mean, there's little that we understood, but there was some grinding of, the basic way of doing things and understanding. And then, of course, I came to US for my master's and did my degree here, and then went back to India. One of those different stories. And then I came back again. I was here in 80s, and then I went back in the end of 80s. Then came back. Actually, I used to work for Tata Consultancy Services, so I came back in 2001 when they sent me here, and then I, of course, stayed on, immigrated to Canada. So, and I got married. My wife comes from a Hindu background, and generally in North America, when our kids were growing up, Jain temples were hard to come by. So most of the time we'll go to the Hindu temples and try to. So we are sort of well versed with the Hindu and Jain traditions both. When the kids were young, we used to do daily aarti and those type of things. So, and here also at the temple, we try to maintain some minimum activities through the Jain community here. Dinesh is part of that. But coming to this course, when Dinesh actually approached me, because I often sort of try to encourage him to speak at the temple about, because I know he studies a lot. But he's a very shy person, very private person. He avoids that. So, and I probably understand why he does that. But when he invited me to come to this course, it was a good opportunity. And I said, okay, something which I wanted to learn from my father, probably this will give me a chance to learn. Initially, but I would be honest, I mean, even after having all the grounding in Jainism and all that basic understanding, I did find the content overwhelming to start with, because I was trying to look at 46 gun, 12 bhavana, itne tarah ke karm, ye sab. So the too many things were getting thrown at me. So that I found a little overwhelming. So, but then I said, I need to stick with it, and there is always a purpose to it. So one of the things I did actually during the course, and I is to start listening to Swani Bhutiji's lectures on Sanasa. So not that I've understood a lot of it, but it does kind of bring it all together, because that's an ethnic perspective, and she speaks very well. She's very fluent, very knowledgeable. She uses terms which sometimes I don't understand, but as this course progresses, I start to understand more and more. So I've listened to about 25, 26 lectures so far, because I travel to work. It's 1 hour away. So I'll listen to it in the car, going back and forth. When I take my dog out for a walk, I'll put my pods on and listen to it. So it's been helpful. And the thing that I really liked about this course is, number one is the sticking to the discipline. So you join these courses, a lot of times, it's one of those things you do on the side. But I think, Prabhaji, credit to you that you taught us discipline, you showed intent, you were sort of made sure we were falling in line. And I think that's required for a serious study of this type. In terms of the changes that it's bringing to me, I'm starting to focus more on myself, not worrying so much about, what am I teaching my kids or my wife or the community in general, but more about myself. Excuse me, my dog wants to go out. So, sorry about that. But I think some sort of transformation has started. I'll admit to it, because it's forcing me to focus deeper. And what I'm understanding is Jainism is no nonsense religion. I mean, that's something which is coming through. It's very simple in its concepts, but very demanding in terms of I mean, the kind of focus that you need to bring. So I feel that with the slow practice, I do want to capture all the Karnataka yoga details as well. I'm sure I'm not as fluent as Bahubali ji is or some other people are, but slowly I think I'll get there because I know I have the patience and I can work hard for it. And then slowly we'll try to understand the Atmic nature and so on and so forth. The Swanubhuti's lectures are actually helping. Though I have stopped now for now because I want to catch up with more of the stuff that is going on here. But definitely transformative experience, but it's only a start because it's just the first semester. And I'm very confident by the end of year 1, 2, I'll see a lot of changes in the way I think, I'm already seeing that. And I'm really looking forward to it. So, and thank you so much for your dedication and discipline and the commitment that you bring to the table. I mean, it would not have been possible without that. All our collective journeys, I think, owe a lot to you. I mean, we can't thank you enough for that.
We're all in this together. We're all in this together. So it's, it's just everybody's going through their own journey, but this is just a support system. Yes, it is. It is. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
I completely agree with Arun ji. Like, ma'am, the way you teach, way you talk, I think you are not really like a strict teacher. I mean, but you know how to make us come in the line. I mean, in the line in the sense like in the spiritual context, you make us realize that how important it is. That is, I mean, one of the best. Your approach is one of the best, I believe, because I mean, I do read a lot, but I look forward to this class every week actually to discuss with everybody, listen to you, because you always bring insight in different way every week, different. Yeah.
And it's a simple way of explaining, right?
Exactly.
A lot of Pravachan style
also I think like how
very complex to understand, right? But you make it down. So
I think it's I feel it's how lucky we are, correct? So it's a Jainism is based on the Veda Gyan, correct? All knowledge, discriminative knowledge. I mean, without that, you cannot understand. So I come from the Karnataka, that is South India. I mean, mainly it is Karnataka is mainly Digambar. It is most of the Digambaras are like lot on the conduct, charitra, vrutas and all. Less on, even though there's a lot of contributions from like Karnana Yoga and all the Gomata, what is that?
What's that?
Gomate.
Siddhanta Chakra.
Yeah, a lot of sadhus. Acharya is from Karnataka.
Gomatasara and those come from there. But many people are like 70% people are like the devotional. They're not understanding the concept. So, and in the process of devotion, now I think the Bhattarakas brought this Shasana Devatas. So they are more of worshipping into those Devatas, like Shasana Devatas. And there is, if a Padmavati, goddess Padmavati, there is a big statue, and only Tirthankar is a little bit on top. They're all like into that. So I think it's a lot of blind beliefs. It turned into blind beliefs. It's supposed to be knowledge-based, correct? Jainism. So that's why the Paramaga honors is such the jewel, I would say, like gives a clear-cut discriminative knowledge. And you do it very amazingly, that one. Thank you so much.
And also, I think another thing, yeah, sorry, I just wanted to point out that even the fellow class members, I think they're dedicated, knowledgeable, and I think we are learning a lot from the questions that get asked and the curiosities that get put forward. So yeah, thank all of them as well. It makes a richer experience just being with all of you.
Yeah, the class dynamic definitely works. It works very well. Yeah. Okay, great. I think, is Amitji left now?
Yeah, no, I am left. Okay, so so basically, yes, I am also born in Jain family, right? My mother and father both were Sthanakvasi Swetambar. However, my father did not believe right, in Jainism or God in the sense, right? So more of very science based and an engineer, right, by profession, right? So he basically put me and my brother more into the academics and career, and you want to really be earning money and make a career out of it, right? And we never used to go to the Jain temple. In fact, we never used to go to any temple, right? So overall, right, there were no religious values kind of a thing, but yeah, just the normal moral science values, right, of doing good to everyone, right? So obviously, right, doing something like stealing or right would be something that couldn't come, right, because of that moral science teaching, but nothing from a religious standpoint. Right. And my dad also, yeah, I mean, at an age where he founded his business, right, he earned a lot of money and he was into that money cycle, I would say, right. And he and his brother, right, founded the industry, right, when unfortunately his brother, right, died at the age of 42. And that's when my father, who was elder to him, right, realized what's the point, right? We both uh, did so many things, right, and built this career, earned so much money, right, bought flats and apartments and moved out and all those things, right. But what's the use, right? I don't have my brother with me, right. And then he went to Srimad Raj Chandra's ashram, right, and my grandmother was into it a little bit, right, and she loaded some books right into the car, right, and my dad then just opened the books and he started reading through it, and he then got so much attached to it, right, that he kind of closed the entire business, right, not to the retirement, right, because he still wanted to make sure that me and my brother, right, could study well and all those things. But he was very much detached. So at that age, I was possibly 15 years of age. I couldn't understand why there's a drastic change in my father, right. I would not say the attachment went off, right, but he would maintain some kind of a boundary. Or maybe it's a teens for me, right? So the dad and son's relationship during the teens are not that great, especially, right, I was a bit of a rebellious person, right, and could back question my dad as well, right? So in that sense, right, I could see that he did a big change in his life, right, when this happened, right. And he used to talk about Srikanji Swami and Srimad Raj Chandra and all those things. I used to hear Srimad Raj Chandra's Atma Siddhi, right, playing in my house, right. So I didn't understand anything at that point of a time. I just remember the word Vairagya, Vitrag, and all those things my dad used to say, and he used to talk a lot in the house, right. Even if we didn't understand, we could hear those words. Right. Then I moved to US right after my studies. My father unfortunately passed at the age of 48, right? And I did my engineering, right? I never had even an inclination of any religion kind of a thing. Still, I mean, my mindset was obviously to make a career, earn money, have a good family, right? Right, and obviously US was the place, right, to do that, right? Right, get into this consumerism thing, right, earn money, spend money, right, and one after another the goals were set in, right, from a career perspective. You want to be a software engineer, senior software manager, senior manager, whatever, right? You keep on climbing that ladder, and somehow you felt good about it, right. But yes, and I used to have the pleasure of saying that yes, I'm earning more money, but somehow, right, what I was getting from that money when I was spending that money, or right, I was not getting that kind of a pleasure. Maybe my hobbies were not that developed or whatever, but I used to feel that, right, that I'm not getting the pleasure. But still, it's more of a comparative world. I used to compare it with my colleagues, right, my college friends, and yes, I'm doing well, right, from a money perspective, from a career perspective. I can show it to the world that I'm doing well, right. That kind of a thing still kicked me on, right. And then the permanence of living in US, right, I wanted to live in US. And when that goal happened, right, that was more of a trigger point where I started to think more on what am I achieving, earning money, spending money, earning money, spending money. And few videos of Vikas Divyakriti, no way related to Jainism, right, but I like the philosophy. That's how I was introduced to philosophy as such, right. And he has a very good video of Jainism as well, right, if you look his YouTube channel, right. So that was the first thing that triggered, right. Next is then I started wondering about the purpose of life. And I always used to think, right, being a human being born with an what we call excellent brain, right? Is our purpose just to spend money and earn money and do this, right? Are we not born just from a societal standpoint, right, to do something phenomenally great rather than doing this? That was one trigger point. Then kids happen, and I saw how the kids were altogether different. And then I started thinking, right, if the parents are giving same values, right, as to me and my brother, why are we so different in terms of everything, right? Earning money and other things in life. Why are we so different, right? So these were the three trigger points, right, that told me to basically explore on this, right? And I was way much focused on my career. I would spend more time on it beyond that 8 hours of working, right, to learn more things from a career standpoint, etc. That slowly reduced, right? And I started whatever you call searching the purpose of life. Obviously, seeing my father that way, right? My mother also used to practice, right, and go with my father, and she used to go to Ujjwala Ben Shah's pravachan in Sion, Mumbai. We used to live in Mumbai. I was born and raised there. Right. So my mother, when she came to US, right, she brought the English version of Jain Tattva Parichai. Right. And it was in my desk for such a long time. And my mother could not explain. She did not have that proper way of explaining it. And as I told, I was very rebellious. I would question a lot in many sense, right? And my mother would be like, I can't explain you. Right. So she brought that book, right, saying that this could answer many things. I started with the chapter 1 maybe 10 times, but I did not go past, right? I somehow still could not digest the fact, right, that beyond science and everything that I've learned till now, there is a separate way of a perception of looking at things in a different way altogether. Right. So I couldn't, right? I just lost interest, right, overall. Right? So I did not go beyond that. Right. But once, right, all these three things came together, as I mentioned, the purpose of life, seeing how the kids are different, and this earning and spending money, right? I was getting bogged down. Right. I really didn't see why am I doing this, right? And then I took this book again, and then I could steadfast in this, and I completed the book in one night or something. Right. And I then started having more curiosity. I understood the basics of it. I think the major problem is, right, even if you go to the temple or everything, which I started doing it in US, right, there is no way to understand the core concept behind this. And I'm generally a very academic kind of a person, right, where I want to know the concept, then only I do it. I just don't do it, right, because X number of people are saying it, even if my elders are saying it. Right. So that I think these four things came together, right? I read this book, I got interest. Then I visited Jana, right, and where I came to know about Prabha Mohnot. And I don't remember, Prabhaji, why I don't recall your face if you were the one who told about Parmagam honors in the Jana seminar. Right, but that's how I registered. I registered there itself on my phone, and I was kind of waiting for this to happen. Right, then I read the Jain Tattva Parichaya multiple times, right, to rebuild in the system, because there are a lot of terms and etc. Right, so first that English and Gujarati Hindi was a concern, right? I was not able to really I would say comprehend so well, right, in Gujarati and Hindi, right, because born and brought up, right, from an English medium kind of a thing. It took some time, right, to get acclimatized to those words, etc. Right, and then the Parmagam honors happened, right? I liked the structure of it. I was always looking out for something like a 101, 201, 301, because I used to attend a lot of things like Vipin Jain Sastri's lecture in Cleveland. I was in Cleveland earlier, right? And I I just cannot go into a 301 session and not having the basics, right? And I couldn't understand things, and I lose interest, right, if I don't understand things, right? So multiple occasion happened. I think this is the first time where everything chained out together, right, and showed me the direction, right? And I got a lot of interest into this, right? And with Parmagam honors, it's a structured way. Now I know a lot of words and meanings, so I can read more. Right. So as I also started reading like Samay Sar a bit, Char Dala a bit, right, too, because I kind of want that. I just can't wait for the next one, right? Same goes with the karma thing, right? I want to understand that details, right? So to me, like there should be a crash course kind of a thing where 15 days there should be
It's
something,
okay to
right?
read them, but Yeah. No, it's good. It's okay to read other granths. Just be careful because you don't want to misunderstand them. So
Right.
still, this is for everybody. Make Parmagam books your priority. Wait till these 5 years. Of course, if you have extra time, you can, of course, read and listen to other pravachans, lectures, whatever. But don't do it at the cost of losing out on the course. Otherwise, kind of you'll get confused. Versus if you do systematic 5 years and then you go into any of the granths, you'll be much better off. But if you have extra time, yeah, go ahead by all means. But see, some people, they want to try to go ahead of themselves and then now they're be with the other things. So don't do that. Like make the course your first priority, then anything else. So then you'll do,
Okay.
good, better for yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you will understand all the other shastras much easier after you go through this course. So otherwise you'll be struggling, and it's kind of like trying to do read a master's level book when you're still in middle school. And then
Yep.
yes, understand the words, but it won't be the same how you may or may not be able to understand. So just be aware of that. That's all.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your contributions. And okay, so next week, I think is going to be sort of that 4th of July week.
Yes.
So should we not have class? I think let's do that.
Yeah, let's keep that.
And then the week after, yeah. So week after will be what date? 8th, I think.
9th.
Ninth.
9th July.
So normally we can decide 9th, right? So during exams, I'll start the books like Tattva Gyan Patmala 1. So far, it has really not confused people, even though they're studying Vitrag Vigyan for their exams. Still reading a new chapter or two, I don't think it hurts. But it keeps the continuity. So we'll have class on 9th. We'll start semester 2. And then you guys tell me how it's going. And then we can decide if we need another break of a week or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Because since this
So
class is
what
2
will we
hours,
start?
if we do too much breaks, we don't want to get behind. Tattva Gyan
Okay.
Patmala 1. So yeah, keep that book ready. We'll start with that one.
So
And so it will be 1 week break. So then, you'll be good in terms of getting a little break. And yet you don't want too long of a break. Otherwise, then you're like out of the continuity. So, so next semester, your books are going to be Dharam Ke 10 Lakshan, Tattva Gyan Patmala 1 and 2, and Ahimsa and Nimit Upadam. Of that, Dharam Ke
So-
10 Lakshan is
so
a
Prabha, do
self-study
we-
book.
do we have the Chat GPT, that English version of it? The way we had it for Vitrag
Yes,
Vigyan.
we should be getting it. Varshaji is trying to work on it so she can give it to us. If not the whole
Okay.
book, she'll probably still do chapter by chapter, like, like the Vitrag. But she's trying, yes.
Okay.
Dharam Ke 10 Lakshan, there's a version of English already. So we'll have that. Ahimsa, also there's a previous version, not the ChatGPT one yet. And that is something one of you, if you're interested, could do, where we could give you the editable version and you could take a paragraph at a time and put it in ChatGPT and see if the translation comes out better than the book you currently have. And it can be compiled. So we'll
Sure.
think about that project when it comes closer, right? So if anyone have interest in that, just let me know and it shouldn't be that difficult. But I like to stay ahead so that way in case for some reason we have to take a break and we're not falling behind. So this was much nicer. We were done with our syllabus a month early and we could do a lot more. So that works out well. Okay, great.
I think I
So,
missed my feedback,
we'll do our
but
thing.
if
Oh, I
Yeah,
there is no time.
apologize. Oh,
No,
yeah,
that's okay.
Dinesh
That's
ji.
okay. I
Okay,
just
we'll take
want
you
to
next
echo
time. The
everybody's.
reason I
No,
didn't. No, we'll take you next week because then next whenever we meet, because Dinesh and Dipali
Dipali.
are also
Sounds good.
left.
Sounds
So
good.
we'll
Thank
do
you.
that. The reason I didn't take you first is because we got some feedback already in your summary. So that's the reason.
Okay.
And so
Thank you.
we'll take you next on the 9th when we meet. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'll give you more time now. Maybe you'll come up with another song.
Sounds good.
So, okay.
Thank you.
सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है वंदना शत बार है। जय जिनेन्द्र सभी को।
Jai.
Jai